Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John, and this video is going to be my top 10 second sight special editions. And warning, this video does contain baggy shrink wrap. Before I get to the top 10, here's a few honorary mentions. Up first is From Beyond. Now, the reason I'm going to mention this is because this was released in 2013. So as you can see, this release has a lovely slip box. And there wasn't many out at that time, and it does kind of foreshadow what second sight they're going to do down the line. But when this came out in 2013, there wasn't that many out there like it. So that's From Beyond. And also The Strangers. Now, the only reason why I haven't put this higher up the list is because I haven't seen this movie yet. All the other ones I've seen, but this one I haven't got around to yet. This is a newer release than From Beyond. And I do think the set is spectacular. I mean, this hard box that they have in here is something I'm a big fan of them, and I think that they stand out on the shelves, and everything about them is spectacular. The stuff they put in, and obviously the picture quality. I haven't really took any notice of this one yet, so I can't really comment on what the picture quality is like. The picture quality on From Beyond was pretty decent, as I remember. But then don't forget, there's a 4K coming out by Arrow, I believe, and also or 88, and also there is a 4K from Vinegar Syndrome, which is the one I've got. So I won't be upgrading to the one in the UK. But the 4K of it looks absolutely stunning if you're thinking about going for it. But this one here, I'm really interested in watching it. Like I say, it's the only one I haven't watched of these special editions. And I've made this list on a few conditions, i.e. the movie itself, special features, and the presentation that you get in the package. At number 10 is Assault on Precinct 13. Now, when this came out round about the same time as From Beyond, I remember thinking, this is just an absolutely, I wasn't expecting this to be such a good case. I mean, as you can see from, the unboxing of this, this is just next level. If you're a fan of a certain company, just get the stuff immediately, even if you think it's a high ticket price. Some of them are, and some of them are. Just get it because the second-hand market is just absolutely crazy about this. Now, the big thing about this release is, can they put out a new special edition of this on 4K? This Blu-ray looks absolutely sensational. I reckon the 4K will look just immense. Nobody's put it out yet. It's begging for a 4K release because it's one of the best films in John Carpenter's filmography, I think. So at number 10, that's Assault on Precinct 13. At number 9 is Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell. Now, this is an absolutely spectacular special edition, one that I would like to see continued when the Hammer 4Ks come out. Now, this one was the only downside about this one is the fact that it was previously released by Icon on Blu-ray, and this one uses exactly the same disc and features. It's a shame that they haven't done any more restoration to it. It's basically you get this stellar packaging. The packaging is absolutely brilliant. That's the stuff I would like to see on the 4Ks, as I've said. But this one is just basically a port over of the disc. Everything's exactly the same. I was a little bit let down by that because I would like Second Sight to do a spectacular 4K remaster on it. But this makes me think, hopefully, that this one, if they do put it out on 4K, they'll go back and would do a better restoration of it. I wouldn't like to think that they would just take this and they would just upscale it to 4K. I mean, it would look better, but it wouldn't be the true 4K I was after. Now, that's a little bit of a worry for me, but hopefully that will not be the case. But like I say, this spectacular special edition is what we want to see from Hammer. I was hoping they would do more. I don't think they'll do any more, but it's a big shame that they haven't went further on in this and done some of the other ones. If they'd done all the Frankenstein ones, this would be amazing. This is the last ever Frankenstein one that Hammer put out. And it's a good, I mean, I like them all. I think they're all great. But yeah, so this is a bit of a foreshadowing of what the 4K could be like if they do the special edition on it. I would like to think that they would do it, but they would remaster the Blu-ray, which they didn't do on this one. So at number 9, that's Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell. At number 8 is The Mummy. Now, the reason why this is higher than Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell is the fact that this was so out of print. This was great to get this out physically released because The Mummy on Blu-ray, who was released it previously, it's the same problem that I have with Frankenstein and Monster from Hell. It's exactly the same transfer as that one, unfortunately. I mean, the packaging is much better than the previous release, but at least it's saving you. It was going for about £50. The previous Blu-ray had none of this on it, none of the special edition boxes and that and postcards. Unfortunately, it's not been remastered. I would love it to get remastered because I think that Second Sight would do, as I always do, a great remastering of all their movies. So fingers crossed for this coming out on 4K by Second Sight. Maybe, and this is just me wishful thinking, maybe Second Sight haven't put any more out because they're going to do more of these, but in 4K. He is hoping. So number 8, that's The Mummy. So number 7 is Censor. Now, this movie deals with the video nasty censorship, and it's got a plethora of extras on it, which is all to do with the video nasties. So, this movie is a good movie, and I did enjoy it. I've got to say, it's a bit strange. I do need to get back and watch it a second time. The ending is quite odd, but I found it to be enjoyable as well as being kind of what was that all about. But it's a really good special edition. I saw it on the shelves a few times and went past it and thought, should I get it or not? But I did take the plunge. And this movie, because of the whole video nasty thing, was high on my list. But I was thinking, do I really need it? But I went for it, and I was really happy with the actual movie itself. And also the extras, I think, to me, are actually a little bit better than the movie because you can get so much out of it because it's just everything you want to know about the video nasty debacle, shall I say. And also, as well, I will say that the movie itself deals with the video nasties, how these people have got to go and watch these video nasties, and does it affect them? And at the time, everybody was talking about it's, going to video shops and saying, have you got this, have you got that? So it really brought back some good nostalgic memories for us, and that's probably one of the best thing about this movie. So this is more or less a brand new film. So at number 7, that's Censor. And at number 6 is Dog Soldiers. Now, I've been after seeing this for a long time. I'm sure I saw this back in the day and had no recollection of it. One of those movies that kind of passed you by. And then when you go and watch it again, you can't say for love of the money. And also you hear that it's out in Germany, but the actual picture quality is absolutely awful and garbage. So you don't go near it and you've got to wait for somebody to put it out. When I heard Second Sight were going to put it out, I was like really impressed. So to my surprise, this was announced it was coming out in 4K. Now, I thought, have they really got the right elements to do that with? Now, this film is shot in 16mm, but it's also shot in super 16mm, which is obviously better than 16mm because 16mm, I have got a few of them on 4K and they look pretty good, but you can really tell that they're just not the 35mm sharpness that you expect from some of these 4Ks, and it does lessen the picture quality. But with this being on super 16mm, you'd be surprised at how good this is. And I was really kind of blown away by the fact that this is scrubbed up this well. So I'm so glad that I held off because I mean, how many double dips have you had for a movie that you just have as a placeholder and you know there's going to be a good one come out in the future? This one was it, and I'm so glad I didn't have to double dip all over the world just to get to watch this movie. But gotta say, I just got to take my hat off to Second Sight when they see sometimes this is one of the best things about Second Sight. If you see a movie that's kind of languishing in the doldrums, they can really pull some mini miracles out of the bag and deliver something that's absolutely spectacular. So number 6, that's Dog Soldiers. So number 5 is Martin. Now, as with Dog Soldiers, this has always been a bad looking movie. It was filmed very cheaply, 16mm, and they said it's going to be a 4K. They did promise, but they couldn't get the rights to it. Unfortunately, the super long cut, like with everything in it, couple of even 3 hours long cut of Martin, that would have been great to see. But they have got the definitive version of Martin. I think the quality on this, although it does look a bit ropey in places, it is 16mm and it can't scrub up that well. This is definitely by far the best it's ever looked, and I really did enjoy this movie again. It'd been a while because I put it off because it's another thing when you hear 4K coming out, and they took their time with this one as they do with most of their 4Ks that are a little bit iffy. They've got to put extra work into it. They take the time with it so you know it's coming out, so you hold off watching it even though you want to watch it because you want to see it on the 4K. But I was really impressed with it. Actually, the Blu-ray as well looks fantastic on here. So if it gets a bit grainy on the 4K, so if you don't like the grain so much, the Blu-ray will back it up and you can watch it on the Blu-ray. And you get, like I say, a plethora of extras on here. The packaging is absolutely immense. And I like the fact that they went to these movies and some companies might have said, you know what, it's Martin, it's George A. Romero, but it's not that widely known. It should be more known than it is. And we might just put it out on a Blu-ray, just in a normal packaging. But they do take the time out to get these out in this more spectacular fashion, so you can get them if you want to get them. Like I say, if you want to get these ones, especially these big titles, even though no one's really heard of it, mainstream, do look at these ones and just act instantly. That's what I do. And also, as you've seen from my unboxings, do get them from the Second Sight's website because you get the best packaging I've found. A lot of people are saying this from a company, and you know you can sort of order. And sometimes you get them from other companies, and you just think, I don't know what it's going to turn up like. It's going to turn up in like a carrier bag, but this one they come in just the best packaging ever. So at number 5, that's Martin. At number 4 is The Guest. This is just an absolute monster of a set. It weighs a ton. It's one, when I picked it up, first of all, I thought, I can't believe how heavy this is. And I thought, I've got to get it. I hadn't even seen the movie, but the packaging on this sold me this movie. Now, the thing about this one is, now you might think, well, Martin is a movie that I might enjoy more than The Guest, even though I really enjoyed The Guest. And you could be right about that, even Dog Soldiers. But the fact is, I'm ranking these as well on picture quality. Now, Martin is a great movie, it's a great special edition, but this one is just a better special edition, better picture quality. I mean, I prefer Martin as a movie, but The Guest has went up a little bit more because of the actual look of everything about it. This was the first film I'd ever seen the main star, Dan Stevens, acting in. And I thought he's absolutely brilliant. I thought he's American because his accent is that good. He's actually English. And he's turned up in a lot of great films these days. Also, Micah Monroe. She was in Long Legs. She was brilliant in that. And this is an early movie of hers because I think it's from 2014. And yeah, I just really, really enjoyed this. I had a lot of people that said, just give it a shot. You'll not believe what you're seeing. As well, it's a film I think it's better off you know nothing about when you go into it and just know you're going to have a great time with it. So, at number 4, that's The Guest. At number 3 is The Hitcher. I'll leave a link down to my video I've just done down below, and I do go through this completely. Now, on that review, I share some screenshots of this film. Now, people quite rightly have said that the screenshots don't look that good. Now, the only problem with that is when I do take my screenshots and I put them onto the video and edit them, you don't know how they're going to look on the actual finished video. Will they upgrade to the level that they have on the phone? Will it be represented online the way that they are when you take the actual picture? So sometimes you've got to, if I say that they're absolutely stunning, you do know that they're stunning. I'm not going to say that and show something. If it was rubbish, I would say, look, you've got a bad picture quality here. So do, like, if you're looking at it, do treat them with a little bit of, some of them look better than other ones. It's just the way that they've come out when it's been rendered, when it's been uploaded to YouTube. So what can I say about this film? Second Sight have taken nearly 3 years to get this one out because it was really hard to get the elements. I don't know how they got them, but they did. And they put out this thing which is just an absolute joy to look at. Can't wait to watch it again. They have brought this one back to life. And the reason about this one, another thing is, it's got this massive widescreen Vista CinemaScope look to it, which you just didn't get from the VHS. It was kind of very claustrophobic, I found, the VHS, because you're in a car for some of the times. But in this one, it just brings the movie to life to it in a way that I never would have expected. So I've had the actual pleasure of watching this one was unbelievable. Now there's another two in front of this one, but I had to put this one where I thought it deserved because the other two have just blown me away just that little bit more. But I would say that most of these ones have been absolutely jaw-dropping at the time when I've actually received them. So number 3, that's The Hitcher. And number 2 is The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, again, this is 16mm. It doesn't look half as good as The Hitcher, but I've got it ahead of The Hitcher because really, Second Sight again, they've taken a movie that's always looked grubby, and I do think this one does look grubby in a certain extent, but they've really done something to it which makes this look the best it's ever looked. I don't know how they've done it. They've kept the integrity of the film, but they have kept the grain in as well, but they haven't got the grain heavy. If I don't know how they've done it. Like I say, I just think it was just fantastic. This, for me, is the best it's ever looked. And I don't mind that this film looks a bit dirty because the movie is grubby and grotty, but it just, I don't know, it brings this to life in a certain way I would never have thought. And obviously, the special edition, to get this movie, a special edition like this in the UK is absolutely brilliant after knowing that you couldn't get any, close to it back in the video days. But the whole presentation, the box, the cover they've chose is just brilliant. And again, I have to go back to the fact that Second Sight do. I don't know how they do it, some of these restorations. That's why they take so long. That's in a way that's frustrating because I always say, oh, I've got this one coming out. And you do know you're going to be literally a year away from getting it. But you know that when it comes out, you will get the most fantastic version of it if you want to get a special edition. And don't forget, there's always standard editions of these ones coming out. The only thing I would say is that I think the standard editions should have a nice little slip over the top of them because you're still paying quite a bit of money for them and just getting really a bog standard case and the movie, but it is what it is, I suppose. But these special editions just look absolutely fantastic on the shelf and they weigh a ton as well. So if you do put them on shelves, put them on a lower shelf because if you put them on the top shelf, it'll pull the shelves off the wall. I know, I've been there. But anyway, can't like big up this enough because You do hope that when they release these films that you just love from yesteryear, that they're going to treat them with respect, because when you do buy them for up to £50, you do want this to be the definitive version, 4K, everything's there, the extras, all the things to go with it, and then you're done with it. You don't have to look at it again, and you know that you've got the definitive version. So at number two, that's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So what will be at number one? It is, of course, Dawn of the Dead. Now, when I was doing this list, when I put them all together, I thought, is there any ones that can topple this one? Because the Hitcher was absolutely amazing. But when I've looked at it and I've weighed up the pros and cons of what I think about what draws me to a special edition, what I like about it, do I like about the fact that it's so good, or do I like it the fact that they've done something amazing with the picture, like they did with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is a lesser looking movie, of course, than Hitcher, but for some reason, I just think I'm just more appreciative of that version that they've done. So, getting back to Dawn of the Dead, I would say that they've done everything on this. They've done the most amazing restorations of all three cuts of the movie in ultra high definition. They've put all the soundtrack on it, the whole thing. They put these books together, two books. They just couldn't have made a better set. Yes, it was pricey. I think it was £80, but it was well worth it. I know it probably goes for silly money now, but you just got to take it how it is, because you just think, right, this is it. This is the ultimate version of this. And you pounce on it and you're happy and you can go on your merry way. Now, the main reason, the main selling point of this for me is because I've always seen these movies, I always had these movies, but they've been, some of them have been lesser quality, some of them have been okay quality, some of them have been great quality. But for me, all of these look stunning, and they've all brought them to life. I watched the three cuts of them, and the Argento cut especially was quite a revelation, because it does. This movie's like a different movie with the Argento cut, because it kind of takes all the humour but keeps all the action in. So it's more like an action film as opposed to a satirical look at American culture, as the other ones are, the George A. Romero style. But yeah, I mean, just when you look at it and you just think, I've got to have that. And it's everything about it is the best. And it, when you look at it, if you look at all my special editions, you would probably look at this one and think it was probably one of the best, if not the best. It is just, it's just perfection. I know a lot of these, I keep calling them as perfect, and they are perfect. But to get the perfect version of one of your favorite movies of all time, and you can sit back and you think, right, I've done that. I don't need to do it anymore, because how many times have we double dipped on Dawn of the Dead? Has been absolutely incredible to get to this point. But I don't think this will ever get topped. And if anybody ever releases, I don't need to get it anymore. I'm kind of got it, and there's nothing more that can put out in this unless they find that the longer cut, the full version. I mean, that would be great, but I'd pick that up separately. So I'm really happy to have all these special editions. I don't have to get them all, because some of the movies I'm just not that interested in. But I think that a movie that's like some of them, my favorite movies of all time, I can't help but go for them. Some of them being a bit blind buys, like The Strangers and The Guest, but hopefully that sort of blind buy will pay off. And also, don't forget, if you buy it and you don't like it, you can always sell it again. You'd always get your money back for it. So it's like a no-brainer, isn't it? So at number one, that's Dawn of the Dead. So thanks for watching. You take care, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.